Hello, and welcome from the team at Napa Valley Transportation Authority. From late 2019 to early 2021, NVTA has worked with the community and local cities to update Napa's Countywide Transportation Plan, which covers the 25-year period from 2020 to 2045. This plan is important not only because it will help the county adapt to current needs and future trends, it will also position the county to compete for local, regional, state, and federal funding. At the heart of this plan is the concept of advancing mobility. Advancing mobility means greater connectivity and faster transit, improved safety for all modes of travel, and working toward a more sustainable system through emerging technologies and climate-friendly fuels. Right now, we have the opportunity to shift the way we approach transportation, and by doing so, shape the future of Napa County. To give you a sense of the plan, this video will provide an overview of, first, where Napa County is today and the transportation challenges we face. Second, the process of creating the Countywide Transportation Plan to respond to those challenges. And finally, what the future of transportation in Napa County could look like. When we plan for transportation in Napa County, there are a few key things we have to keep in mind. First, how does Napa County fit into the larger region? Napa County is part of the larger 9-county Bay Area. Each county within the Bay Area is unique and has different transportation flows and needs. In Napa County, 31% of Napa workers commute in from another county, and 23% of Napa residents commute out of the county for work. Napa County also welcomes an average of 4 million visitors annually. The next thing we have to keep in mind is how people currently move through the county. According to census data collected before COVID, most Napa residents commute to work in personal vehicles, with 76% driving alone. 6% work from home, and 4% of residents walk to work, which is higher than the national average and one of the highest among all Bay Area counties. 1.5% of residents use transit, including NVTA's Vine transit system, which is about on par with the national average, and less than 1% bike as a means to commute. And finally, we have to think about how we transport goods through the county. With a vibrant agricultural economy, nearly 17,000 tons of goods are shipped out of Napa County each year, and approximately 10,000 tons shipped in. The pandemic has had a profound and lasting effect on transportation throughout the world. In Napa, we've observed significant changes to each of the key areas. Commuting trips decreased dramatically as people are working from home and others have lost jobs. We've seen a similar decline in transit use, both locally and on commuter services. We've seen a significant drop in school-related traffic as students continue distance learning. And more people seem to be walking and biking, as we've seen increased use of the Vine Trail. However, we've also seen a rise in congestion from delivery vehicles. As we continue to review and prioritize projects, NVTA is focused on supporting both the immediate needs and long-term impacts of the pandemic, while also continuing to work toward a more connected 2045. To meet both current and future needs, the countywide plan must first be rooted in the priorities of the community. To develop a vision for the future of transportation in Napa County, NVTA sought input from community members and local jurisdictions. Kicking off public engagement for the countywide plan, NVTA hosted a transportation summit in September 2019, which welcomed over 200 members from the local community. In the fall of 2019, NVTA hosted 5 other pop-up workshops throughout the county, both as standalone events and alongside key popular community gatherings, like the local farmers markets, boys and girls clubs, and senior centers. At the same time, NVTA provided a trilingual online platform in English, Spanish, and Filipino, where community members who were not able to attend in person could easily and conveniently respond to surveys and share ideas. These activities matched those conducted at events, including the ability to add ideas to a map for specific transportation improvements. All of the public feedback opportunities were promoted through NVTA's mailing lists, social media, and poster ads at transit stops and on buses. To ensure accessibility for those without easy access to a computer or a smartphone, posters offered a way for people to submit ideas through text message. Across all these efforts, our goal was to better understand the community's transportation vision and needs, validate community values, and identify areas in Napa County that need the most attention. We heard from the community that the most pressing transportation needs include traffic congestion relief, improved roadway safety, sustainability, including walking, biking, and transit, maintenance and repair of the existing transportation system, equity and economic vitality. The outreach process and community priorities have helped us shape a vision for what improved mobility in Napa County might look like, and helped NVTA to build a project list to achieve that vision. Integrating the community's priorities, the NVTA board approved the following goals for the Countywide Transportation Plan. Meet the transportation needs of the entire community, regardless of age, income, or ability. Improve safety across the transportation system. Use taxpayer dollars efficiently. Promote economic sustainability across the county. Increase energy efficiency and minimize resource use across the transportation system. Prioritize the maintenance and rehabilitation of the existing system. Together, these goals will help us achieve our vision of advancing mobility, building toward a more sustainable and vibrant Napa County. With these goals in mind, the plan carefully maps out how to work toward this vision by the year 2045. Key components include identifying transportation investments that will best serve Napa communities, planning for a system that supports multiple modes of transportation, measuring various indicators of the transportation system by establishing goals, objectives, and performance measures, identifying new revenue sources in addition to existing funding, and submitting projects to the Metropolitan Transportation Commission's Regional Transportation Plan for funding decisions. One of the most crucial parts of the plan is the projects, otherwise known as investments. NVTA and Napa County jurisdictions evaluated potential projects within the plan's 25-year timeline and identified over 100 investments. Projects range from new bike paths and expanded transit to new roads and highway improvements. Staff evaluated each project by the number of goals and objectives they meet. The majority of projects mapped to at least 4 goals. Funding constraints, rapidly changing technologies, and shifting priorities make it unrealistic that all the projects in the plan will be built over the next 25 years. Even so, building this comprehensive list allows us to adapt and reprioritize while consistently pushing forward. This list is also important because only projects included in the countywide plan will be included in the regional plan, also known as Plan Bay Area, making them candidates for funding from MTC. For projects that don't make it in this round, NVTA will adopt future countywide plans every 4 to 5 years to update the county's priorities. To monitor and predict how these projects will impact our goals and vision, NVTA uses a combination of performance measures and scenario modeling. The plan's performance measures are directly linked to the plan's goals and are designed to monitor the impact of certain projects on meeting those goals. At the same time, These metrics let us know how the transportation system is doing. For example, is there more delay and congestion on the roads? Are more people using the transit system? Or is the pavement in need of repair? While performance measures can show us current conditions, scenario modeling allows us to test out future impacts. NVTA modeled various scenarios to predict how proposed projects would influence the performance of the future transportation network. NVTA's travel model can forecast future transportation conditions based on population growth, land use, and changes to the transportation network, which may include changes to roads or the level of transit service. NVTA tested 4 different scenarios for comparison. Scenario 1, which we're calling the basic plan, looks at how the projects perform without increasing transit frequency. For example, express bus frequency is currently once per hour. Scenario 2, or the proposed plan, looks at how the projects perform with increased bus frequency. Under this scenario, regional routes 10 and 11 would run every 30 minutes during the morning and afternoon commute peak periods. This scenario is the most feasible to implement. Scenario 3, which we call Transit Plus, looks at how the projects perform with regional bus routes 10 and 11 running every 15 minutes and local bus service provided free of charge. This is more of a wish list scenario to understand what would be possible if we could have free, high-frequency transit. The final scenario, called SR29 Lanes Plus, shows how the projects perform with no increased bus frequency. The scenario also includes a project to widen State Route 29 from 4 lanes to 6 lanes between Airport Boulevard and American Canyon Road. This scenario is unlikely due to California Department of Transportation's policies, which discourage the addition of more lanes. Ultimately, this modeling revealed that if we increase transit frequency and lower the cost, we can significantly reduce automobile congestion. Project decisions are made based on their impact to the transportation system, but they are also influenced by funding availability. NVTA receives funding from various federal, state, regional, and local sources, such as the Federal Transit Administration, Federal Highway Administration, Metropolitan Transportation Commission, as well as local sales taxes. Many of the sources are designated for very specific types of projects. For example, FTA funds can only be used for transit or transit-related projects. Since we don't have enough funds to build out all the projects in the plan, it's critical that we allocate funding to projects and programs that will provide the greatest benefit and make the biggest impact to meet the plan's goals and targets. To make significant progress towards the plan's objectives, NVTA and its jurisdictions may have to look to alternative ways of generating revenues. Some options might include altering NVTA's transportation sales tax, pursuing vehicle registration fees, or considering regional developer impact fees. NVTA has already taken a step by passing Measure T in 2012, but like most of NVTA's funding, Measure T is restricted and can only be used for local road maintenance. This plan helps to identify gaps in funding and sets the stage to realize a future of improved mobility and increased connectivity for Napa County residents. On behalf of NVTA, thank you for joining us. To learn more about the plan and specific projects in your area, head to www.nvtatransportationplan.org, where you can access and read the full report.